Good morning, my friend. I would like to show you a few little orders that it's going to be processed. I'm going to go out and how do you like my little headgear? I kind of work that. Shows that the brain's always turning. Well, you'll just have to deal with that. One of the first things we're selling is to Wanda. Wanda of Jasper, Alabama. She bought this antique masterpiece art antique game. I believe this may not be the whole game, but it's a major portion of it. So I just want to thank you for that. She made that order. And the other one is from Stacy, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So from Wisconsin to Alabama, she got. Now, I know it doesn't look like, you can't hardly see it, because what we do is when we get merchandise, we make sure it's clean. And then a lot of times we make sure that it's not just clean, but it smells. Now, I've spent many years repairing vinyl, leather, and cloth. I've worked with all kinds of chemicals. I virtually don't have a sense of smell. I barely can hear. And the scene is my strongest attributes. And of course, I have a little help with that. So, that being said, we clean these and we make sure they're sanitized. And then what we do is we wrap them to keep them from absorbing the odors from everything else around. And then we put these in containers so that keeps them nice and clean. And sometimes we put little paper that creates a smell that also absorbs odors. So we want the hat to be brand new. We want the hat to smell very nice and appealing. We don't want it to smell like our closet. So those are the two orders that we have going out right now. We deal primarily with Mercari. Mercari's been a great company. We've just had fabulous success with them. We've been with eBay twice. Horrible experience. And most of the people that we talk to that have sold online have a horror story about eBay. Now, if you're a buyer from eBay, you're fine. Because eBay always stands behind the buyer 98% of the time. If you're a vendor, you're screwed. You're just not going to defend you unless they do something obvious, like if you order something like a stereo game set and they send back a brick. That's pretty obvious. But other than that, Mercari, on the other hand, has been generous too with their returns in the case where there's merit. And they've never stuck me with it, not one time. And even on times I thought, I probably messed up. And I'll tell you about that later on. It's just something out of just being a guy, not knowing clothing. I thought large is large. I didn't know large is different for children as opposed to adults. So, that being the case, well, but the thing I did right was I did this. No, not disappeared. I used measurements. I used tapes, and we try to measure and put that in all the stuff that we buy and everything. So we want to thank you. This is just one of many. So please subscribe. Please like us. We're working hard to do this, and of course, this is during the lockdown, and this is one of the few times you'll see my face, which is probably okay too. But anyway, I'm going to tell you. We're going to do a variety of things, and I usually like to tell everybody a joke one time, and here's the joke that I'm going to tell you today. Man walks into a bar, and he's drunk. The bartender says, "Man, I can't serve you, son. You're drunk. Go home." So he leaves. 10 minutes later, he comes back. He sits in the same chair. And he says, "Son, I told you. You're drunk. Go home. I can't serve you." Okay, and then he leaves. This time he comes back 20 minutes later, uses the other door. Sits at the other end of the bar. And he says, "Bartender, I'd like to have a drink." The bartender walks in and says, "Son, this is the third time I've told you. I can't serve you. You're drunk. Go home." And he says, all right, I'm going to go home. All right, but I just got one question for you. What's that? How many bars do you work at? Anyway, if that got you a mild chuckle, that's good. If you hurt yourself off, if you're laughing so hard, don't send me the bill. Thank you once again, and please subscribe and at least like it. Talk to you later.